All right, here we go. This is going to be a descent into madness. We begin by going to Golgotha. I feel like all descents into madness basically start this way. Why would you really want to go to Golgotha in the grand scheme of things? Of course, to complete, the story, but, I really mean, why would you want to go there? I decided to go to Golgotha, even though I had, Glotrot, because apparently if you've already got Glotrot, you can't really get it again, and it is debatably the worst disease you can get from Golgotha. So once you've had it, you may as well go and do Golgotha, because the worst has already occurred. That is what I thought, anyway. There are a lot of twists and turns, and Glotrot, it's the real villain of the story. We do a little bit of prep here to ensure that my water stays pure, that I have enough water to get through, and I also turn down the automatically drink fresh water just to make sure there are bigger increments between our swigs, just in case we somehow putrefy all of our water. I've decided not to time-lapse the actual journey through Golgotha because it is possibly one of the most intense journeys. It's just every single turn is awful. And as you can see, as is probably pretty typical of this run, I guessed wrong and got the shoot crab end, if you want to call it that. So we are in shoot crab hell. This is particularly bad for me because I have brittle bones. Shoot crabs are, after all, crabs. And so they are going to be doing bludgeoning damage, the most potentially harmful damage to us. However, I am well equipped at this point. Even though I have gotten distracted and made some poor decisions, I still made, I think, a good decision to equip myself as much as possible. I think that gearing up your armor is the best thing you can do. And so, our Crysteel armor definitely does a good job of protecting us here. So once we've gotten to the bottom, we, find our scrapped way droid right away. And I could have left at this point, but as I say, the worst has already occurred. And I did equip our snail-encrusted Armite, I think that's what it's called, Armit, to ensure the maximum amount of mollusk reputation. The intention was to make friends with the slug, and I've talked about that a few times. It's something I'd like to do. It's something I'd even like to consider the delicious soup that the slug teaches you how to make. Probably not on this run. There I am equipping the Armit. Probably not on this run. I'll talk about that maybe later. But it was just not ideal to drink the delicious soup that the slug offers to teach you the recipe of. But here we are. We're at the bottom of Golgotha, and there's quite a lot to contend with down here. The slug is honestly one of the least of your worries. You can at least avoid the slug. But here we are, language barrier. We're going to see the culmination of a lot of struggle happen, kind of all in one mistake. I wouldn't say mistake so much as a realization. Let's trade. What does that mean? Well, it means that we've lost our tongue, and you're gonna see a lot of me trying to figure out why it is we can't make friends with the slug. I have, of course, done everything right. Right? I've done everything I can to ensure that we are on friendly terms with the slug, and so therefore we can share a dram with the slug. I've even gone the extra step of making sure we have some slime on hand, because that is, after all, what you need to share a dram with the slug. But no, I have forgotten that we do not have a tongue, and so therefore any kind of diplomacy is for now permanently not an option. So we finished Golgotha. Not really a bad, not a bad Golgotha. Even with shoot crabs, it was not really a big deal. And I turn back on here my automatic drink threshold, because I noticed that at dehydrated you basically never drink. You want to at least stay like you want to drink occasionally, but apparently that just means never drink. So I get lost twice there. That was not two of the same prompts. That was two different prompts of getting lost. So, and then I run out of water. So, you really can't do enough. When you have glot rot, you're rolling the dice every single time you drink water to putrefy one of your supplies of water. So it's a good idea to split up your water as much as possible. Now we're coming up to a montage pretty soon, which I will not speak through because it's one of my favorite in this entire series. After having passed up many opportunities to get our wine, I've come to the conclusion that, unfortunately, in this situation, the only way to get wine is or I'd say the best way to get wine is to wait for it, because we only have the one Ichor merchant. No one else is going to sell it, and so therefore we would prefer to wait until the Ichor merchant is selling wine. That's my own fault. I've created that situation, but the situation is one that we are stuck with. So that's what we have to do. So here I am doing a lot more water and inventory management to make sure that I can carry everything that we have, as well as to make sure that our water is split up enough so that I can survive a couple of days of waiting. And wait we shall. We're coming up to it very soon. But I'd like to keep these in to show you just how much effort I go to managing the water. Anyway, I shall stay silent for a moment. All right, and we're back. And there's our 2 drams of wine. And I got very lucky there because apparently, it's completely random. We could have had to wait another 3 days for the Ichor merchant to refresh their supplies. I pick up the rest of the cure, double, triple, quadruple check the recipe that is needed to make the cure for glot rot, and then proceed to mix up all of the supplies. Then we have to drop it. We have to actually make sure that the concoction is burning. It is a flaming ick after all. So we drop it onto a fire and wait a few turns before the water skin starts to become a flaming water skin of sugary, sappy, honey wine. You would really, based on that description, you would think that it tastes pretty good, but this description we get does not inspire one with confidence in its flavor. But still, I'm at this point very, very grateful to be cured of glot rot. However, it must be said, we are cured of glot rot. The hell is not over. The punishment is not yet done. We venture back again to Golgotha. Yes, not content with having to do Golgotha the first time, and having done it the first time with 0 risk, you would think, well, that's it, we don't have to do it again. No, let's instead go back to Golgotha after I've cured myself of glot rot to ensure that this time we do it with risk. That's very smart, right? So I come back to Golgotha. Why am I back here, right? Well, I've figured, well, since I finally cured glot rot, I can go down and make friends with the slog, finally, after all of this, right? Well, we'll see. Anyway, I at least don't go down the same chute, so we don't get chute crabs. Instead, we get acid traps, which are not really that much better, must be said. But this route is not great. It's not bad. It could be far worse, honestly. I'm grateful for it to being as tame as it was. Honestly, one of the tamer Golgotha trips, if ever I seen one. So I did put on I think I put on either my crysteel coronet there or re-equip my snail encrusted armet. We find ourselves back again at the bottom, and I'm trying once again to find our friend, the slog, which we were on neutral terms with. This is definitely the closest to making friends with the slog as I've got. You know, it really is beneficial. I know I'm maybe harping on this concept a bit too much. Like, why does it matter that much? The slog is a level 30-ish creature. It's a legendary, and so therefore making friends with it is, very beneficial. But hey, look at that. Yeah. We are still not yet at the bottom of the spiral. This run spirals, and it continues to spiral until we become truly mad. Not just insane, but angry. I still don't have a tongue. And so we come full circle. Remember when I dismembered both my arms in order to cure myself of a fungal infection? Clever in maybe the small scale, but in the grand scale, it really truly cost me. I only had the one Uber Nostrum, and at this point we have 0 Uber Nostrum and 1 missing arm and 1 missing tongue. You'll see here, basically the bottom of the spiral. We've truly come to the bottom as I go to try and turn in the way droid to continue the story quest. You can see here I'm about to repair it. I think I am. Repair it, you fool. I guess I didn't. But we try... where is it? What am I doing? Cleaning myself? I'm cleaning myself. I guess I did just come from Golgotha, but you can see there, And so our spiral is complete, and I've come to realize that I can't actually continue the story quest until we've recovered our tongue, which is like, what a heavy price to pay. Truly, what a heavy price. Honestly, like, it really does begin with me decapitating my arms and using my Uber Nostrum. Like, in the grand scheme of things, I wasn't wrong to use my Uber Nostrum to recover my arm, but like, I guess had I known about all of this, maybe I would have kept my arm. Like, just roll around with no arms. It's fine. The worst that you could say is that I would have had like a slightly less AV, because most of our attack comes from either our stinger or from our mental mutations. It was really not a big deal. Your mental attack does not affect. So here we are. We can see that I can't use proselytize. I can't use basically anything against this robot friend. And I realize just how truly nerfed we are, not having a tongue. Not only is it preventing us from continuing, but it's also just making things extra difficult for me. I do manage, however, to beguile this dimensional creature, and then the dimensional creature decides to make enemies and therefore destroy our only hope of robot rep. You can see here that I wanted to focus in on this because you can kind of see it's very easy to miss what's going on, but I made friends with the dimensional creature, and then the dimensional creature decides to kill our hopes of robot rep. So things are just not going well. I go back to the stilts. I continued looking for Uber Nostrum, and I just like hope is waning. And you can see here an idea is forming. I am starting to come up with this idea. If you did not know, the way you get your limbs back, it's no longer trivial. It's no longer as easy as resting in a hyperbiotic bed. You now have to use a dram of cloning mixture, or whatever you want to call it, at Bethesda Susa. You need to find a vat, a regenerative vat, and give it a dram of cloning draught, and then you can recover one of your limbs. So very, very expensive, very, very difficult. We have to go to Bethesda Susa. We must go to Bethesda Susa before we even have access to Gritgate. So a really bizarre run, honestly. And here we can see that the pain of has not ended. Even though we have cured glot rot, we still have a weird thing going on with our mouth where it is continuing to putrefy water. Whenever we take a swig, we have a chance of putrefying water. So even though the overall effects of glot rot have disappeared, not having a tongue is enough to create problems for us when it comes to our water. So, and we can see here, they've really created problems for us as I ran out of water halfway towards Bethesda Susa and have to make my way back again to the stilt, possibly making this run one of the most stilt heavy runs. Like, I spend more time at the stilt maybe than anywhere else. I guess that's true maybe for any run, but like for real, I barely left the stilt in this run because I needed to wait for wine, and I needed to do this and that, and the clones of the dromads are, you can call them clonads? Clonads? That works, right? No, it doesn't. Of course not. But, having all of that accessible was both a good thing. It was a benefit. It was a curse, because like I had no reason not to basically spend all of our water all of the time and spend a lot of time at the stilt buying whatever we could to continue progressing this run. Glot rot. What a disease, what a pain. So here we're buying more water skins so I can split up our water again. And I like to keep these in here so you can see just how much work I'm doing every single time. So here we arrive finally at the end of the spiral. We've completed our descent into madness, and I make my way to Bethesda Susa in order to try and recoup my tongue and continue the story mission. And we can see once and for all what horrors await us in Bethesda Susa. The Kragmensch are honestly not a big problem. Like, we are very well geared at this point. Maybe slightly under level, but you could probably debatably complete it. I can't honestly see. I don't even think we're at level 20 yet, but it hardly matters because the worst horror is yet to be revealed in Bethesda Susa. You can see I really make short work of these Kragmensch. They're not a problem at all. But we'll see very soon our greatest danger yet. There it is. There it is. What is our greatest danger? It is, of course, ourselves. Burdened with all of the same mental mutations that we have accrued over time, our clone begins to attack us by sundering our mind. Now, of course, the best move I could possibly make right now would be to descend down those stairs. It is our quickest escape from possibly one of the most dangerous moves, but instead I double down and attempt to kill my clone alter ego. This is a fatal move and is the ultimate end for Uramomet. because I don't have the damage it takes to kill my clone before Sunder Mine explodes my own brain. Possibly one of the most Caves of Qud sentence ever. And that's the end. That's the end of Uramomet. Truly tragic, but in a way ironic that our own ego, our own powers, and you know, came to a hilt and ended up being our greatest enemy. So, you know, what can we expect next for the Caves of Qud series? Well, I guess you'll find out.